Shoebat.
The first thing I want to ask you is, what was the purpose of your talk this morning to these cops and emergency responders here in South Dakota?
Well, being an ex-terrorist myself is to understand the mindset of the terrorist, number one.
An ex-terrorist. It's Walid Shoebat's claim to fame. A terrorist, a PLO member, who bombed a branch of an Israeli bank in Bethlehem Square, throwing a firebomb on the bank's roof. The problem with the story, with a lot of Shoebat's stories, there's no evidence for them. And despite CNN's many requests, neither Shoebat nor his business partner have provided us with any.
Bombings in Bethlehem Square, you specifically said you threw...
The bank was in the Bethlehem Square.
You threw explosives.
Yes, I did.
On top of that bank.
Yes, I did.
No record.
CNN's Jerusalem bureau went to great lengths trying to verify Shoebat's story, finding the general location where the branch of Bank Leumi once stood, but not finding anyone who could remember a bombing. We contacted the bank headquarters in Tel Aviv, asking officials to search records. No records found. And Israeli police found no record anyone ever threw a bomb at the branch of the bank.
Why would the bank not have a record? Why would the Israeli police not have a record?
Why would the Israeli police not have a record? I don't know. I don't know where you check, what dates, all these things.
There's another part of his story that doesn't check out. Shoebat says he was arrested and spent 2 weeks in an Israeli prison.
There's no record of you being in prison. I think there'd be at least an arrest record. They held you for 2 weeks. Wouldn't the United States know you were in prison if you were a U.S. citizen?
Well, how about me and you go to the Muscovy prison and extract the records? The records are there.
Okay.
Would you be willing to do so?
We did. And the Israeli detention center could find no record of detaining anyone with the name Walid Shoebat.
Yeah. You obviously can see why people are critical of your claims. There's a whole lot of gaps in your story.
There's no gaps at all.
We don't have a bank bombing.
And we don't have a terrorist, because it turns out Walid Shoebat, even on his own admission, was never charged.
I was in prison for a few weeks.
Was there a charge?
No, I was a U.S. citizen, remember? I was born by an American mother. The other conspirators in the act ended up in jail. I ended up being released.
There's another problem: his family. In the neighborhood where Walid Shoebat grew up, relatives say he was just a regular kid. And Daoud Shoebat, who says he is Walid's fourth cousin, goes even further.
There were only 2 banks in Bethlehem district, and they are Bank Leumi and Discount Bank. They were on Nativity Square, and Walid never had any connection with those 2 banks, not a close or a distant connection. I tell you, this is out of experience. I am one of the people who are considered a responsible man in the area of Bethlehem or Bet Sahur. I have never heard anything about Walid being a mujahid or a terrorist. He claims this for his own personal reasons.
So Drew, he's saying he claimed this for his own personal reasons. What personal reasons?
Well, there's a big personal reason here. It's called money. You know, Anderson, enough to tell you, classic investigative reporting, you follow the money. Like his background, how Walid Shoebat is now making that money is about as mysterious as his past.
Yeah. The Walid Shoebat Foundation, is that a charity?
Walid Shoebat Foundation is part of the FFMU.
And what does the FFMU do?
Basically, we're in the information, and we do speaking, and we do also helping Christians that are being persecuted in countries like Pakistan. And we help Christians who are suffering all throughout the Middle East.
And how do you do that?
None of your business.
None of your business. That's interesting. Our investigation continues tomorrow night, right? Tell us, what are we going to see tomorrow?
Yeah, tomorrow, how he makes a business out of his expertise, how these donations to his cause end up with a so-called foundation owned by his business partner, and also the bigger question, Anderson, why are our taxpayers going to pay this guy? He can say whatever he wants, but where are the people vetting these so-called terrorism experts that are suddenly making a lot of money in this country?